Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I just want to start off by thanking you guys for watching these videos, whoever watches them, every single week, because through the highs and the lows of the season, a few of you guys come out and watch, and I appreciate it so much. And to be honest, after today, I really didn't want to do a video, but you know what? I thought I had to do it for you guys. I had to do it for my fans, my following, my huge-ass following. So I do it for you guys, even though I didn't want to, because the Green Bay Packers moved to 6-3 on the season, heading into their much-needed bye week, losing to Detroit 24-14. Although it was 24-14, the game wasn't really even close. It felt like a 30-10 type score. Literally Detroit could have scored on their very last possession. Decided to just kneel it out type thing. It was really just an utter ass whooping, if I'm being honest. Very disappointing, especially division rival Detroit 6-1, easily the best football team in the NFL. Yes, you can say the undefeated Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. In my opinion, the Detroit Lions are so well crafted, and there's no weak spots anywhere. Unfortunately, they lost Aiden Hutchinson for the year, but it sounds like Za'Darius Smith is going to be coming to the Detroit Lions as of tonight, I guess, is from everything that I'm hearing. So that team is only getting better, and it's really great credit. I credit Brian Gutekunst every single week for the Packers on creating a great football team, grabbing and drafting these players that help this team. Well, I'm going to be doing that complete opposite for the Detroit Lions. Brad Holmes, absolutely one of the best GMs in the NFL. Top three, maybe not even top 3 or 2. Very, very good GM in the NFL. It sucks to see all the blue Honolulu fucking dog shit blue in the fucking Lambeau Field Stadium. It wasn't official after this game. It's been official for the past 20 years. There is no home field advantage for Lambeau anymore. Fans just show up, and although it was set up perfectly for the Packers to beat a Detroit team that is play their home games in a dome, and quite literally, this was Detroit's first outside game of the year, and they won't have another outside game till week 16 against Chicago, which is just absolutely bizarre to hear, coming from an NFC North rival to be playing inside every single week. But I digress. This game was set up for Green Bay to have a lot of success because the weather was raining all day long, and it certainly did. And credit to Detroit. Detroit just played a normal game today. Meanwhile, Green Bay battled the fucking elements all game long, and it was so frustrating. That's why I say the lure of Lambeau Field and home field advantage is completely gone, in my opinion. Yes, I'm maybe overreacting, but I'm not, because you look back in the past 20 years, Green Bay has not had that lure home field advantage like they did in the 90s and during the Lombardi years. It's completely gone. And people can mention the Super Bowl run, but the Super Bowl run, they won 3 straight home road games to go to the Super Bowl. So they didn't play a single home game at all. But so it was just clear as day. Detroit was just Jared Goff. What can you say about him? 18 for 22, 145 and a touchdown, 109 passer rating. David Montgomery, 17 carries for 73 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 carries, 65 yards. That Sonic and Knuckles 1-2 punch at running back, easily the best in the league for Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Just absolutely did whatever he wanted. He is, my comparison to him is he's prime Steve Smith from Carolina, if people remember Steve Smith. This guy is fucking legit. And Dan Campbell, once again, little brothers, Matt LaFleur, maybe not as bad as other times, but it's once again an ass whooping to that extent. Jordan Love, anyways, I kind of rambled on here, but back to that pie I was talking about. If you had to blame If you had to make a pie diagram of who's to blame for this Packers loss, you got the penalties, 10 penalties for 67 yards, all the pre-snap penalties, once again, shooting themselves in the foot, non-fucking stop. That's part of the pie. Another part of the pie was the injuries. You got Jair Alexander constantly not showing up for these type of games. Yes, he's injured, and who the fuck am I? And I'm arrogant, but once again, Jair not showing up for these division games that you need him for when you go against the St. Browns. So that was a part of it. You didn't have Evan Williams, outstanding rookie today, who missed his first game now. You really would have liked to have him. And then the offensive line, although crazy enough, had 0 sacks today. All the snaps, because Josh Myers, for context, Josh Myers was listed as doubtful, did not play, thus shaking off the whole offensive line. You had Elton Jenkins moving from left guard to center, and then you had Sean Ryan, who played right guard with Jordan Morgan, was the full-time right guard, and then Jordan Morgan was inserted into the left guard spot all game long. Although they had no sacks on the day, coincidentally enough. The snap, the botch snap between Jenkins and Love, there's probably 4 or 5 of them all game, and it was all low shit. And once again, just the elements played a factor against Green Bay. Meanwhile, Detroit is just playing this game as fine as can be. So frustrating. So you got the penalties and the injuries part of that pie. The third part of that pie, Jordan Love, man, he's definitely a part of it. That's one of the worst pick sixes, I can't even say it, that you will ever see by a player. Just absolutely brutal pick six in a game where you're down 10-3, and then you throw that brutal pick six with 35 seconds left in the first half, with Detroit getting the ball in the second half to start. It just absolutely brutal to go in the half down by 14. Just game killer, really. Jordan Love off target all day long, and the last part of the pie to go with that was all the drops by these fucking receivers all game long. Jordan Love, even the passes that he threw on target and in perfect rhythm, it'd be perfect pass, it'd just be dropped. Easy catches. Tucker Kraft had one. Romeo Doubs had one. Dontavian Wicks, who's been such a frustrating player for the Packers this season, although I expected him to have a huge breakout year, had 2 drops himself, one in the end zone. Yes, it was also throw behind, but you're a professional wide receiver in the NFL. You make those fucking catches. I don't care if it's thrown slightly behind you like this. You got to catch these fucking balls. It's so frustrating. And you had Brandon McManus miss a field goal, a 46-yard field goal. Yes, he was 2 for 3. He made 2 of them, but he still missed a 46-yard field goal. So that's 7 points right there in a game, or that's 10 points in a game you lost by 10. Although, like I said, Detroit could have scored at the end, so I digress. They still would have lost no matter what. But it was frustrating to see. Jordan Love, 69 passer rating, nice. He had 273 yards, but he just played like shit all game. It felt like he was wobbling everywhere with his injury, but he was very adamant in the press conference that he felt fine all game, but it just wasn't his night, and it was frustrating to see. The 2 guys that played their fucking ass off, the only 2 guys that played their fucking ass off today, Josh Jacobs, 13 carries for 95 yards to go along with 2 catches for 13 yards, and Jaden Reed, the other guy, 5 catches for 113 yards. Those 2 guys came to fucking play. Josh Jacobs, I'm really happy to say that he's been so much better than his last year at the Raiders, and it goes to show how bad that organization was, to see how good Josh Jacobs is doing. And to be honest, I've mentioned this before, I'm a big Aaron Jones guy, so I was never I was kind of worried seeing Josh Jacobs. How would he fit into this offense? And he is, by all accounts, a fucking stud when it comes to the running back spot. And for Green Bay, felt like he didn't play him as much, if any, in the second half because he had like 90 yards rushing in the first half, and to finish out with only 95 yards total rushing. I think he was injured a lot because um, Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks had a lot. It felt like they had a lot more of the carries in the second half. They combined total for 6 carries, 41 yards, and a touchdown themselves. So they kept up a nice pace running wise. But yeah, I definitely got to check back. Hopefully Josh Jacobs is all right. Um, Watson, 3 catches, 37 yards. Kraft, 4 catches, 34 yards. Dobbs, 4 catches, 28 yards. Nothing big yardage wise. Nobody besides Fareed over 40 yards receiving. Just so many drop balls. So many drop balls. I mean, at least 5 or 6 that I can think of. And then a lot of off-target throws. Just absolutely brutal. Love, now, it's got to be like 6, 7 games in a row has thrown an interception. Everyone's going to be like, yo, Malik Willis this. It's like, it's either you can be fucking down right now or hope this shit gets better, and hopefully Love plays like how he did in the second half of last season. But to be honest, I'm more so of, I don't know if this shit's going to get fixed, because although it happened last year, just the same problems consistently happening for this team. Although this game felt like Detroit kicked their ass, still a good chunk of this is them shooting themselves in their fucking foot. Once again, 10 penalties for 67 yards. 10 penalties? Like, there's like 3 or 4 in the first 2 drives. Like, just absolute killer shit for this team. And it's just horrible. Like, defensive-wise, I thought they played all right, but I think Jeff Hafley played okay, but credit to Detroit too. They're the best team in the NFL in my opinion. You know, with Sonic and Knuckles at the running back spot, you got fucking St. Brown, Jared Goff looking like an absolute fucking stud. Like the crazy stat of 25 touchdowns and 20 incompletions. Like, it's just unreal shit, to be honest. They're just playing out of their minds. You know, credit to Brad Holmes once again. They got Jake Bates, a kicker, you know, that I wanted Goody to go get, and he seems like a great kicker for them. They got Carlton Davis, a mean-ass stud cornerback position. He had 7 total tackles, 5 solo. Like, I would love to have Carlton Davis right now over fucking Eric Stokes and Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon just playing subpar shit all fucking game and season long. Easily one of the top positions they have to address this coming offseason. If it's either free agency or the draft, they need to find another cornerback one, because clearly Jair is not reliable when it comes to injuries every season and tackling. You need to find the next cornerback one some way, somehow, because Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions, a team in your division, finds these guys every single fucking year these past couple years, and they're not going to be stopping either. Would love to have a Carlton Davis right now. Would love to have a Jack Campbell, a kid out of Iowa, a second-year guy who had 13 total tackles, 6 solo for Detroit. Another great find from Brad Holmes. Penei Sewell, one of the top tackles, probably is the best tackle in the whole league. I think it's that time, but Penei Sewell had another great game himself, because once again, this defensive line only had 1 sack today. Came from both Aaron Mosby and Rashawn Gary. Nice to see Mosby get going. Nice to see him get some, just try to find some guy to fucking make a play, rather than just having Van Ness, Gary, and Preston, who, man, Preston Smith, get off. I love you, man. He's done great things for this Packers organization, but I'm just fed up and done with Preston Smith. Hopefully we can get a trade for Preston Smith to get him out of here, get anything back. If we could get a 5th, a 6th round, something for him, that'd be great, because he's not a part of this Packers future, unfortunately. Once again, he's done great things. I love Preston Smith. One of my favorites, but as of right now, he's too old, too slow, not making impact plays. So we need to get rid of him this trade deadline. Would love to see that. And gosh, Quay Walker, he led the team in tackles, 12 total tackles and 7 solo, but it felt like he just absolutely got fucking ass walked all day by Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs. Same problems. I see it every single game. The running back will be coming down, the A gap, and Quay will go to the B gap. Just like completely misses and misjudges the whole play, and thus you got that 4th down early where Detroit, it's like a 4th down and 3, and Jameer Gibbs gets like an easy 20-yard scamper for a touchdown, untouched shit. Just absolutely miserable stuff. More. And then speaking of 4th downs, you got that fucking 4th down where Green Bay was already down 20. It was 24-6 or 24-3, one or the other, and it's 4th down and goal, and it's 4th down and 1, and they fucking run my most pet peeve shit, shotgun fucking run, and it's just yeah, maybe you can't do quarterback sneak with Jordan Love, but can we not do shotgun for 4th downs every single time? It just feels like you're setting up yourself up for just the ultimate demise, because you have to snap the ball back 4 to 5 yards, and then you hand it off to the guy, and he's got to run 4 or 5 yards rather than the 1 yard that you need. It's just it seems like dumb shit to me, but I digress. Packers coming to their bye week, so no video next week, but they really needed it. They need Evan Williams back. They need Jair Alexander back. They, weirdly enough, need Josh Myers back really in a bad way. I can't believe I'm saying that too, because Josh Myers is a guy I feel like won't be on this team next year, but they do need him, that's for sure. Just can't have those snap the ball issues and those penalties every single time. Hopefully, with Josh back in there snapping the ball, those penalties can go away. But one thing that needs to be better is Jordan Love's fucking dangerous throws that he's making every single time, every single week. Yes, you can maybe say that for every quarterback, but it's just wasn't good enough today at all. It was played like absolute dog shit. And I'm saying this too as a 6-3 football team. If you would have told me the Packers are 6-3 going in the byes at the start of the season, I'd be fucking ecstatic. I'm just bummed out that they are now 0-2 in the division, and with it, by all accounts, aren't going to win this division unless Detroit absolutely goes on a fucking stink run somehow, which I just don't see it happening. Green Bay is not going to win this division. I still think this is a playoff team without a doubt. I still think this team is one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFC, but they're going to be most likely on the road and one of the lower seeds in the playoffs. So still ways away, but just credit to the Detroit. Really, they just fucking they just have an absolute fucking team. Once again, Brian Branch, who had just that shit ass fucking flying with his head penalty shit. It was nice to see him get ejected. Very disappointing to see that the Packers couldn't capitalize on that drive, getting free fucking 30 yards of penalties on that sequence. But anyways, Brian Branch was my favorite safety coming out of I guess now 2 years ago's draft. Loved him. Detroit grabs him. Detroit also grabbed my favorite cornerback in last year's draft, Terrion Arnold, who had 5 tackles today. They're just a fucking good-ass football team. And I still think Green Bay can fucking beat this team, but they are clearly a fucking way from beating these guys, because they just keep shooting themselves in the foot, and Jordan Love just has been fucking sucking lately. And I hate saying that, but I am very black and white. I think he's been sucking lately, and he needs to fucking 10 interceptions, leading the league so far. And needs to be better. He needs to figure it out. Otherwise, this could swirl into something very bad, but I'm still positive. They got the bye this week. Hopefully they can get better, and then they got Chicago in 2 weeks, a team that's coming off a bad loss to Arizona. But it's going to be a long time. I just hopefully the Packers can fucking swing this around because I still believe in this team. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you do me a monster favor and like this video, I'd much really appreciate it. Thank you guys, because I just love making these videos, and I just thank you guys so much for watching this. And if you could like this video and leave a comment, it would be great for me and this channel and for my heart. So thank you guys.